You need to start to learn. Everybody who's listening and watching me right now, you need to start to learn to take accountability for your life in every area. The state of your marriage, the state of your health, the state of your mind, the state of your spiritual health and your relationship with God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. You need to look at your finances. You need to look at your living conditions, relationships outside of your marriage, your kids' lives, everything. You are in the position that you are in every single one of those areas, individually and collectively, the ones that apply to you right now in your current walk of life, because of the choices that you have made, good and bad. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Obsidian Achievement. This is your host, Michael Russin. Thank you for joining me once again. I'll tell you what, today, you want to know what I did today? I woke up, I let the birds out and the dog, fed everybody, came back in, drank a liter of water with some Redmond salt and electrolytes, just slammed that back. I took my supplements, which in the morning I take magnesium threonate. I take a little bit of L-theanine because I know I'm going to have some caffeine, keeps the jitters away. I take a telmisartan, which is something for blood pressure because my testosterone runs so high. I naturally have. My blood pressure has been great. Like this morning, it was like 125 over 82 or something like that. I take a nootropic called Qualia. I think Ben Greenfield advertises it. So I take that with my liter of water. Then I have some fruit and some protein. So I had half a steak, an apple, and a banana. I spent 30 minutes reading the Bible. I started Romans again for like the 15th time. So I was in chapter 1 today. I think I only got through verses 1 through 10. My Bible reading is it's not how much you read, it's the quality versus the quantity. And that's how I think you should approach just any type of reading that's not leisure reading. Okay. It's not about the quantity, it's the quality of the reading, especially with your spiritual development with the Lord, understanding the Word of God. I spent, a half hour on 10 verses, or I think it was actually 8 verses. That I spent a half hour on. I like to look up, I have this app called eSword, which allows me to look up the Greek, the literal translations of the words that I'm working with. I'm trying to teach myself some Greek, actually, so I have a better understanding of the words. I spent 30 minutes there. I spent 30 minutes in prayer and just thankful. I was just thankful today. I didn't ask for anything other than protection for myself and my family. We had an ultrasound today, so I was praying over that, but mostly my prayer centered around gratitude. From there, let's see what you got to bear with me. Today's been a full day. From there, I went to the gym. On my way to the gym, I filmed one podcast episode. I went and I crushed the gym. So I started off with some shoulders and then I hit some back. So I did military for dumbbell press. I did some, what do you call these? The lateral raises. I did some of those with dumbbells. I then did them seated and then did them with cables, kind of like a modified superset. Just burnt my shoulders out. I then went to a barbell military press. From there, I hit deadlifts. I worked my way up to 450 for 5 sets of 3. Then I did some seated one-arm rows, and then I did some seated cable rows. Then I hit the sauna for 30 minutes. On my way to my haircut, I filmed another podcast episode, got my haircut, talked with the fellow partners of First Line Defense. One of them happens to be my barber. The other one happens to be my barber's partner. Worked out perfectly. On my way home, had a pretty great discussion with a girl that I might bring on our staff for a couple of the companies that we're currently developing right now. Got home. I gave the chickens and the ducks their scrambled eggs. I make scrambled eggs for the chickens and the ducks every single day. From there, I ran our big Zoom pump up call. We had about 54 people on there today. I got people excited just to attack the day and attack life, poured into them. Let me know if that's something you're interested in being a part of. After that, let's see. I cleaned the chicken coop. That's a bear. That's not easy to do. That took me about an hour. Got wet in there. We've had some heavy rain for the past 3 or 4 days. So I cleaned the entire, we're recording, right? Okay, good. We cleaned the entire chicken coop. And by we, I mean me. My wife kind of hosed off of Matt. But thank you, Geneva. Speaking of my wife, right after that, we went straight to the ultrasound that we were almost late for because we had to drive through Portland, which is a liberal hellscape. Between the homeless, the traffic, and the construction, I almost lost my mind and said bad words. And I've been trying to avoid bad words. We went to the ultrasound, and I have some great news. The pregnancy is viable. God has given us Ada, who is now currently 5. I just turned my motion sensing off. Whew. Isn't this cool? That's not a political symbol, by the way. That's just me turning my motion sensor on and off. We have a viable pregnancy. Ada's 5 months old, and my wife is already 8 weeks along. So went from there, drove back home, got lunch with Ada and my wife, spent some time with them, just driving around in the car, had a great time, came home, smacked lunch out, went back outside, chicken coop. I have a fan running in there. The ground's not dry yet. I'm going to wait for it to dry to put down the new pine shavings. I had a great call with one of my best friends, Sam. Sam and I spent about 45 minutes on the phone. Now I'm gearing up. Oh, I filmed the I think I mentioned I filmed the second podcast episode on my way to my hair appointment. Spent some time with Sam. Now I'm filming another episode for you guys on YouTube. After this, we have a big partners meeting, dinner. We're getting Mexican tonight at El Rio something in Westbrook, Maine. And then so we're going to have our partners dinner, and then I'm going to put the pine shavings down in the coop, and then I'm going to do some reading, and I'm going to call it a night. That is a typical day in the life of. And I've got to get this GoPro so I can strap it to my forehead so you could all see that I am not BSing you. That is literally one full day for me. What you'll find is if you keep yourself busy, you will create a massive amount of momentum in your life. I've been reading one of my favorite books that I've come back to many, many times. This is a key book recommendation that I give to everybody who asks me for a new read. It is The Almanac of Naval Ravikant, who's basically an angel investor in Silicon Valley. He's the he might be a billionaire. I don't know. He's got a lot of money, and he's very successful. And I really align with his way of thinking about having fun with your businesses and your life. And he talked about luck. One of him and his co-founders were talking about luck. And I put this on my Instagram story. Get the book yourself and read it. But he was talking about luck. And luck is created a couple different ways. There's dumb luck, that you just stumble into something and get lucky. Luck is also being so good at noticing trends that you notice trends before they become a trend, that you are so well versed in your marketplace that you are able to see things happening before other people see them happening, and you jump at the opportunity. The third type of luck that we could create is through just persistence and hard work. Persistence and hard work creates a bunch of luck. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Many people miss out on getting lucky because they're not prepared for the opportunity. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and that can be cultivated through daily discipline, persistence, and consistent application of effort over a long period of time. But the last kind of luck, and the one that I'm most invested in right now, number 3 is definitely at the top, probably number 2 for me, but number 3 is becoming so highly specialized and unique in an area that nobody can replicate what you do. And that just attracts massive amounts of opportunity to you. So let me ask you, out of all those kinds of luck, what do you think are probably the biggest guarantees? Because what Naval goes on to say is that if there's 1,000 parallel universes, you want to be successful in 999 out of 1,000. You don't want to be successful in 50 out of 1,000. So the best way to create the luck that you want in your life is the last 2, which is persistent effort over a long period of time, or becoming so highly specialized that you're the only answer to everybody's question. I just gave y'all so much fire that you should go back and you should rewatch that section twice, 3, 4 times, and then go get that book that I just recommended to you. Couple supplements I do want to talk about today. I figured I'd feature some supplements. I'm not going to talk about the brand because I don't know legality with all that stuff, but magnesium. Do some research. There's 5 or 6 different types of magnesium that all affect different parts of your body. I used to struggle with massive muscle cramps and lower back pain. I've increased my magnesium intake 5-fold exactly. I don't have any back pain and I don't have any muscle cramps anymore. Magnesium is also great for cognition. It's great for sleep, and it's great for your moods. There's a host of other benefits. I think digestion, it can be used as a laxative. So you got to be careful how much you take. You got to get used to it. Don't go out there taking as much as me, because you will literally evacuate your bowels in traffic on the way home from the job that you hate, like we talked about last episode. So magnesium's great. I do want to give a shout out to my boy Devin. He did not ask me to do this, but I love these drinks. Lifted Blends. He's on Instagram as Lifted Blends. I met him at the gym in Scarborough, Maine. It's got CBD. It's got just a little bit of caffeine. It's got electrolytes and BCAAs as well. I love this drink. This is a great post-workout recovery drink. I drink probably 2 of these a day, just because I like the CBD in it. It keeps me calm. You know what I'm saying? It's good for recovery, as well as the electrolytes and the BCAAs, and it's only 40 milligrams of caffeine. So like it just keeps that little buzz in the background. You know what I'm saying? Without you getting like anxious. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. So I got to be careful with it. The other thing, I just tried this today. It's Shilajit. Shilajit. Shilagit. It's like basically like 3,000 minerals from like lava. That's an elementary understanding of what it actually is. This stuff is supposed to be really good for cognition, sexual health, your moods, immune system, recovery. It's supposed to supposedly prevent Alzheimer's. You know, again, I'm not a doctor. As a disclaimer, any information that I give on this podcast in regards to any kind of medications, supplements, anything like that is all purely just what I'm taking. And I am not advising that anybody take anything that I'm taking currently. Okay? Because whatever. I don't want to get sued. Mike told me to take 4,000 milligrams of magnesium, and I pooped my pants on stage when I was getting my graduation diploma. So that's so, you know, McDonald's is going to tell you that their coffee is hot because some absolute loser got burned by McDonald's coffee. And now we have to see caution is hot on every single lid of every single obviously hot drink because some idiot had to sue. I mean, I guess you can't blame them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of like, I'm torn. I think suing people is weak and gay, but at the same time, it's a multi-billion-dollar international corporation that's poisoning people. So it's kind of like I'm at war with that in my head. Maybe they should have been sued. I don't know. But that Shilajit stuff, I just popped a little bit of that earlier. I don't have any way of telling you yet if it's done anything. I do feel pretty sharp. I mean, I just rattled through so much information in 10 minutes that I think there's something to be said for the Shilajit or whatever it's called. So look it up. Definitely get some magnesium in your routine at your doctor's discretion and advice. Of course, go. You better ask your big, fat, overweight doctor with skin issues and digestive issues and an alcohol problem what you should be putting in your body for sure. Anyways, I don't have a gun featured today because I didn't shoot. So that's one of the days I didn't shoot. I do plan on going tomorrow. Today was just so busy. I didn't have a chance to go. I try to go, like I said, twice a week. Shooting is a skill and it's honed just like anything else. It's honed by repetition. And the better that you want to shoot, the more that you need to go shoot. It's costly, it's expensive, it's not cheap. You know, range fees, ammo, proper maintenance of your gun in terms of time is an expense. But it really is a skill that I think that you should be investing in, especially as a man. If you are a man listening to me and you are not shooting, at least once a month, you're going to be way behind when the apocalypse happens, because it is probably going to happen relatively soon. So what I did want to talk about, a good friend of mine, his Instagram handle is Nature Pilled. And I believe he's a firefighter out west. Correct me if I'm wrong. But he said people learn through 2 ways. He said he had an old drill sergeant that told him this. My camera just flashed again. We still good? Why does it keep turning on and off? Did I pause it? Are we still filming? Yeah, there we go. I think I just shut that mechanism off. Hopefully we're still filming. It looks like we're still filming. Bear with me until I have somebody in here with a camera. There's going to be little hiccups here and there. All right, don't hold it against me. So the The quote was, if I'm getting this correctly, was people either learn by repetition or trauma. Let me say that one more time. And again, I got to shout out my buddy Nature Pilled on Instagram for this. This is not an original. It's from his drill sergeant. So really, we should thank his drill sergeant. People either learn through repetition or trauma. When he told me that, yes, we were talking about liberals. When he told me about that yesterday, when he gave me that quote, I just sat there and thought, I'm like, dude, I wish I would have heard that 10 years ago, not only for myself, but for everybody who listens to me. Repetition or trauma. How would you like to learn? Would you rather learn through repetition? Or let me make sure I got that right, everybody. Hold on one second. Let's pull up the gram here and see what we got. Go to the old DMs. We need some waiting music. Michelle, please put in some waiting room music while we're sitting here. Yeah. Yes, we were correct. People either learn through repetition or trauma. Shout out to Alex, my barber, for my haircut. It's a little messy right now. I just put some oil in my hair. Look at that. We're all oiled up. Very nice. Very chic. My wife hates when I say that word. And I don't even know what it means, to be honest with you. I think I got a pretty big vernacular. I don't know what chic means, but I like to use it because it makes her angry. Anyways, you will learn through repetition or you will learn through trauma, baby. It's that simple. How many, I mean, there are so many areas of your life you could apply this. The way I interpret this quote, and I'm sure there's several different interpretations going through all your minds right now, if you're thinking critically at least. My interpretation of this quote is I can either be very repetitious. I can either engage in repetition in the gym with my diet and exercise, or I could deal with the trauma of a heart attack. I could deal with the trauma of a stroke. I could deal with the trauma associated with being morbidly obese and unable to get out of the couch unassisted, and the damage that it does to my liver and my heart and the rest of my organs and my joints and my cardiovascular system and literally every other area, my endocrine system and literally every other area of my life. I could deal with that trauma, or I can engage in repetition daily and make sure that my diet, exercise, water, and supplementation are on point. Your choice. My choice. We all have a choice. Life is a series of choices. And I posted another great quote yesterday, and I'm going to paraphrase here because I don't recall exactly how it was worded, but people are basically, karma is a collection of your virtues, habits that eventually, and vices and shortcomings. I'm going to read the quote because it's too good. Sorry, guys. I have to charge my phone because I just realized I still have a 12, and that whole planned obsolescence thing ain't no joke. This battery goes dead in 3 hours, just like all the others. People are oddly consistent. Karma is just you repeating your patterns, virtues, and flaws until you finally get what you deserve. That was supposed to be an explosion. It sounded more like what my daughter does to her diaper. But you are a series of repetitions, good and bad. And you could have good repetitions and you could have bad repetitions. It's something, because no matter what, you're a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Everything in our life, we are where we're at as a result of the choices that we make. Don't get me wrong. There are some things that can happen externally that can knock us off course temporarily, at least. It shouldn't be permanently unless it's absolutely life-altering, like a death or you get your legs blown off. You're obviously not going to be a sprinter anymore. You know what I'm saying? Outside of freak accidents like that, you are exactly where you are right now because of the choices that you make. You need to start to learn. Everybody who's listening and watching me right now, you need to start to learn to take accountability for your life in every area. The state of your marriage, the state of your health, the state of your mind, the state of your spiritual health and your relationship with God the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. You need to look at your finances. You need to look at your living conditions. You need to learn, your relationships outside of your marriage, your kids' lives, everything. you are in the position that you are in every single one of those areas, individually and collectively, the ones that apply to you right now in your current walk of life, because of the choices that you have made, good and bad. If we could put up like a, what do you call that? Not a mosaic, but like a collage of your life. Like if we could take snapshots that represent your life and just spatter them across the huge wall, would it be a happy collage? Would it be a empowering collage? Would it be a collage that you would want people to come and look at and see and take pictures of? Or is it a collage that suggests a certain amount of pain and suffering? Is it a collage that you're embarrassed of and that you feel shame about? If we were to take everything in your life and put it all on a big wall for everybody else to see, would you be proud to show that off to other people, or would you be ashamed of yourself? My guess is most people, maybe not you, but most people would be deeply ashamed of their collage, their life mosaic. I don't know. I think mosaics like the little broken pieces of glass or clay or whatever that like make a pattern. Could be that too. Could be that too. Because you're going to have a good pattern or a bad pattern as a result of the patterns in your life. You were a self-fulfilling prophecy, and probably the most impactful book I ever read. The book that changed my life more than anything outside of the Bible, because the Bible is first and foremost, but up there in the top 5 is As a Man Thinketh by Norman Vincent Peale. One of those two. I think it's Norman Vincent Peale. Norman Peale. One of those two. Look it up. It's a short read. It's Old English, so you got to spend some time on it if you're not used to that kind of language. But this book will change your life. And what he talks about is that men are buffeted by circumstances. Most men are buffeted by circumstances, like a ship at sea. You're tossed to and fro, and you just think that life. I'm gonna let you all in on a little secret right now. Life is difficult for everyone. From the multi-billionaire to the dude on the side of the street in Portland, Maine this morning, drinking a Natty Light ice at 9:30 in the morning with a trench coat on the stoop, falling asleep at 9:30 in the morning. The billionaire and that person's life are both very difficult. They both deal with death. They both deal with disease. The homeless person probably more disease, I would imagine, especially if you're drinking a Natty Ice at 9:30 in the morning at the side of the road. Oh, Portland is just a hellscape, man. It's so bad. It's so bad. Anyways, they all have difficulties. You and I both experienced. I think we all got brainwashed. I don't know where it was. Maybe movies or television or school or something, or parents. I don't know. We were all brainwashed to think that my hair is just so crazy. So crazy. We were all brainwashed to think that at some point things just are all good. That everything just works out the way that it's supposed to work out, right? That one day we get it to a certain amount of income, that we get to a certain relationship, that we get to a certain whatever, a home, car situation, financial situation, and everything is just peaches and cream and hopscotch and rainbows. That's not the case. Life sucks, but it's also beautiful. Life is pain, but it's also happiness. Like you can't have light without dark, dark without light. You can't have bitter without sweet, or sweet without bitter. You can't have, like, everything is give and take in the universe. Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, right? That every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Life is difficult, but it's going from failure to failure, difficulty to difficulty, without a loss of enthusiasm, and I would add discipline to, I believe, was Winston Churchill's quote. Without a loss of enthusiasm or discipline, and goals, and vision, and definiteness of purpose. I'd add a lot of things to that quote, but we could stop at enthusiasm and discipline. Life's hard, man. It's not going to get any easier. It doesn't matter. Trust me. Trust me. I've slept in my car, wrapped up in a gym bag outside of a Planet Fitness in negative 10-degree weather in Erie, Pennsylvania, waiting for it to open up so that I could go inside and take a warm shower. I'd slept there all night because I didn't have the gas money to get back home to New York. So I slept in my car in the winter in sub-zero degree temperatures, turning it on every couple of hours because I didn't have gas to put in it at like a less than a quarter of a tank, last me through the night. I've been there. I've also have had millions of dollars and made millions of dollars. I don't know what I've made by the time I'm 31 years old, many millions of dollars. And I'm going to tell you right now that life does not get any easier. In fact, the problems become more deeply layered and complicated. I talked about the guy that I passed, the young kid in his older car the other day with his dog, and it looked like he had a flannel tucked into his jeans. And I'm like, dude, I bet you that kid's life, I was just fairy tale. His life could be more difficult, complicated than mine. But I was looking at him, and I don't mean this in a disparaging way whatsoever. I was quite jealous of this kid. I'm like, dude, to a degree, I'm very thankful for what I have, and I wouldn't change anything. I wouldn't change a darn thing, good or bad, that's happened to me. Wouldn't swear. You were to put me in a time machine, I wouldn't change anything. Because you lose the failure, you lose the lesson. You lose the backstabbing and betrayal, you lose the lesson. Everything that you take away that's bad, you lose the lesson. Did you hear what I just told you? Every bad thing that happens to you in life has a subsequent lesson. Then if you lose the bad thing, if you could somehow pull it out of your memory, you also lose the lessons. Those lessons are worth $1 million a piece. If they're worth far more. They're priceless. But I was looking at this young kid, and I'm thinking, I was almost envious. I'm like, just imagine that he had, a small apartment somewhere, maybe little to no bills. I imagine his car was paid off and he wasn't getting sued left and right and this and that, all these things that you go through when you build businesses, and he didn't have 15 calls with lawyers and this dinner and that dinner and this trip and that. And I was like, but he's got his own set of problems. And I bet you, because I saw him look at the Maserati, and I bet you he wanted the car. And I bet you at that moment, we both wanted to trade lives. We really did, because I was that young kid in a beat up old Buick at one point, looking at the Lambo driving by me and being like, I want what that guy's got. And at that point, when you're in that old Buick, you underestimate the price of that Lambo. Yeah, it's not just $450,000. This is why I don't hate on people with nice things. I'm not a big nice thing guy anymore. I mean, I got nice things, got nice guns, got nice cars. I can't complain. But I'm not a nice things guy anymore. Like, I haven't upgraded our cars in forever because I just don't see the point. It still drives. You know what I mean? If I could have it my way, I'd have like an old truck. I'd get like an old Colorado and just putz around and chew tobacco and just sit at the corner store and stare at people. But what was I saying? I was going somewhere good with that before I derailed myself. But the point is this. Oh, the Lambo cost. Yeah, you look at it, you're like, that's $450,000, depending on the year, make, and model, right? It's not just the $450,000. It's the failures and the backstabbings and the betrayal and all the other things that happen when you're building businesses and becoming successful, and the shortcomings and the setbacks and the sleepless nights and the tears and the blood and the sweat. That Lambo isn't just $450,000. It's a representation of much more. It's a representation of much more. I'm not telling you that you need a Lamborghini to symbolize your success. That's not at all what I'm saying. You should symbolize your success with having an impact in other people's lives. That's the best way to have nearly immortal effect, to have nearly immortal legacy, is to have that type of an impact on other people. That's all I got. You should watch this back a couple of times, because if you only listen or watch this once, you're going to miss something. You probably missed several things. I'm not trying to I'm the best, man. You got to listen to my episodes 15 times. I'm so full of depth. No, that's not what I'm saying. I like to do voices. It's my thing. I think I could have been an actor. If not an actor, a lawyer. Maybe. Still could. You'd be like that Japanese dude or that Chinese dude. I don't know what Asian he is. He's one of the Asians. Hopefully that's not racist. It probably is. Whatever. Demonetize me. I got a lot of respect for Asians, by the way. We'll get into that in a different episode. Asians crush it, dude. Every metric: marriage, happiness, career success, financial stability, life expectancy. Asians got it figured out, dude. Y'all are my Asian friends and my Asian listeners. Hats off to you. I didn't mean to lump you all together, because I know that there's really some contentious relationships out east. But like that one, I think he's Japanese. I don't know what he is, but he was like a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret or something like that. And then he was an astronaut and a doctor. We have people that can't get themselves to the gym in the morning, you know what I mean, that are making excuses. This dude was an astronaut, I think first he was a Green Beret, then he was an astronaut, and then he was a doctor or a Navy SEAL astronaut doctor, something like that. He was all, Google this guy. Google Asian man, astronaut, doctor, Navy SEAL. They'll come right up. Bro's a national treasure. That's insane. It's insane. But anyways, I don't even know how I was talking. Oh, maybe I will be a lawyer. Be kind of fun. The legal system is it's rotting. It's a nasty, rotten corpse full of maggots. It's falling apart off the bone. It's disgusting. It's a decaying entity. It's not good. It's not good. Trust me. Trust me, it's not good. But hey, we need people to fix it. But then we wrestle with what is fixable and what is lost. And then I'm kind of like, well, you're being soft. Is anything truly lost? With Christ, all things are possible, right? With God, all things are possible. With man, it is not possible. With man, it seems impossible. But with God, all things are possible. I will leave you with that verse today because I got to get ready for dinner. All right, you guys and gals and non-binary toaster ovens. Love all of you. Have a great Wednesday, hump day. Enjoy the rest of your hump day, and I will see y'all very soon.